Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good night, and welcome back to RAMP Promotions Real Deal podcast show. It's a late night, but it's PIP Mondaze, so welcome back to the show. As we always say, pray going out, pray coming in, and always remember God is in control every time. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we say, as always, donate to RAMP Promotions Real Deal podcast show. Keep this family-friendly show alive because it's here for you and yours. It's spreading positive messages across the globe. Please may continue to support our show. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. If you want to donate to the show, look down below. You can do so in whatever way you want. Look down below. Okay? So let's start off with our prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, as we always do, we have two segments tonight of PIP Monday. Catastrophic ice storm aftermath. What happened? We're going to be talking about U.S. immigration, some major changes. And we're also going to be talking about remigration. In part two, we're going to be talking about women hurting their own futures. That's a topic, a controversial topic. Community announcements, international events, and places to visit. Then we're going to close the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RAMP Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Let's go. So, we are going to put the prayer. We're going to say a word of prayer, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go.
Father, you have not given them a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Greater are you who are in them than anything that comes against them. Praise you that you guard and strengthen them. Trials and tribulations will come and they will always go. But you and your love for them will remain forever. Your love is higher than the clouds. Your love is deeper than the oceans. They are the apple of your eye. Regardless of the struggles in their life, they can be rest assured that nothing is impossible for you. We decree and declare that they are blessed abundantly. You can turn around any situation. You are faithful. In the wonderful and precious name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen, ladies and gentlemen, and let's jump into some inspiration. That was a beautiful prayer. I must say, it's amazing. Check it out. So we're gonna dive into some inspiration right now, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. I'm gonna share that with you, and let's dive in. Here we go.
Don't forget about yourself, friend. Don't forget it's your first time doing all this. Don't forget you have a dream. Don't forget to enjoy every day. Because we get so caught up in getting our lives together. We want to make everything look perfect. Then we end up passing by all the good things that life has given to us. So I say live your life, friend. Chase the dream. Love.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. As we chase whatever we're chasing in life, we can forget about ourselves and get caught up in perfection when only God is perfect, so we got to make our mistakes. We gotta live, live your life and don't worry about what's going on with next door or with someone else. Try to get your life in order. So it's a beautiful thing when you do, especially when you have your partner. I always say this: the only family you have is the one you create. Think about it. You know what I mean? So take care of that family. And let's move into our anthem as usual. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't care if they talk shit. I don't talk to hypocrites. If you hate me, that's just fine. Go on down and get in line. They try to tell me what I need, and it sure ain't nothing good for me. Don't care what they say, it's all just.
And here we go.
My way and walk my walk. They try to bend me, but
I don't bend.
no mind.
I don't break.
I keep my head, I hold my ground. Ain't no man gonna knock me down.
Goodness gracious.
Swing, but I won't flinch. I was built for times like this. So
here we go.
Shit would be aware. I don't care.
Goodness gracious me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of the show. It's a beautiful show lineup for tonight. Tonight. It's a beautiful thing. Welcome in and keep your comments coming. And we say welcome to each and everyone who is commenting. Welcome to the show. I can see you. In the comment section. We're going to touch on that in a short while. But right now, we're going to touch on the weather. What happened after such a massive snowstorm over the weekend? It's still going on in certain areas, but we're going to just briefly touch on that so you can see some of the effects in certain areas. Some areas got a lot of ice, and we want to check that out. So here we go.
Situation right now through a lot of the lower Mississippi Valley, especially the state of Mississippi. A lot of chainsaws cutting up trees. A lot of trees are down. It honestly looks like tornado damage in a lot of spots, but that came from ice. Freezing rain. That's the thing where it looks like it's rain when it's falling out of the sky, and it is liquid, but then it just freezes on contact. And all of a sudden you got a ton of ice everywhere, and it's really heavy, so you end up with power outages because trees fall on power lines. Power lines just come down by themselves. This was Storm Chaser Reed Timmer a couple of hours ago. Listen to this.
Right now, things are pretty bad here. Still cold, about 20 degrees. But we are clearing this road right here, and we'll continue to advance.
Yeah, guess what? We're going to talk to Reed right now. Somehow he's got a good signal out there. And Reed, thanks a lot for popping on the show tonight. I've been following your updates, and man, it's just like, it looks like an apocalypse out there. I don't think people realize like how bad a big ice storm can be. I imagine this is going to take a really long time to recover from, huh?
So,
if you can't balance on one foot for 30 seconds.
Let me get that off the screen. So, as you can see, it's a major storm that happened over the weekend, and we pray for those who are out of power, who got damaged, and so on. And we're praying for everybody. You know, we're gonna, as the hours progress, we'll continue to follow the aftermath and see how much damage was created. In the forecast, they said a lot more is coming. So we'll follow that to see how that pans out over the next weekend, and we'll follow it, and I'll bring you that information as I get it. But you can check your local channels and so on, and your weather reporters and so on, and you can get an update as to what is going on across the United States, because it was a huge storm. And you know, we say we're praying for those who are damaged by it or are affected. So you know, we pray for speedy recovery, and we will continue to follow this as it develops. But as we continue here, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about U.S. immigration. There's some major changes for when it comes to green card holders. It's not business as usual, and we want to bring that to you right now so you can understand that major changes has happened over the last couple of weeks into January. That's January 2026. We're still in January 2026, and there's a lot more changes coming. So I just wanted to get you up to speed of some of the stuff that is going on. So let's check it out.
Pages timeout before you can submit your information. My strong recommendation is to register within the first 30 days.
So let's bring that back.
If you hold a green card in the United States right now, stop whatever you're doing and listen carefully, because what I'm about to share could be the difference between keeping your permanent resident status and watching years of hard work disappear overnight. A massive shift in immigration policy has just taken effect, and the reality is that most green card holders have absolutely no idea what's coming their way. By the time many people find out about these changes, it will already be too late to protect themselves. I've been covering immigration news for years, and I can tell you without hesitation that this is one of the most significant developments I've ever seen. We're not talking about minor adjustments or bureaucratic tweaks here. We're talking about fundamental changes to how the United States government monitors, tracks, and evaluates every single permanent resident living within its borders. The rules have changed completely, and if you don't adapt quickly, you could find yourself facing consequences that seemed unimaginable just months ago. Now, before panic sets in, I want you to take a deep breath. Yes, these changes are serious. Yes, there are real consequences for those who fail to comply. But here's the good news. If you're watching this video right now, you're already ahead of millions of other green card holders who remain completely in the dark. Knowledge is your greatest weapon in the immigration system, and by the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to navigate these new requirements with confidence. Welcome to this channel where we cut through the noise and deliver clear, accurate, and actionable immigration information that protects your future in America. If this is your first time here, you've found a community of immigrants, green card holders, and families who refuse to be blindsided by changes that affect our lives. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in today's rapidly changing immigration landscape, missing even one critical update could cost you everything. Let me start by explaining exactly what has changed and why it matters so much. The federal government has implemented a comprehensive new system that requires all green card holders to actively verify and maintain their status in ways never required before. This isn't just about having a valid green card in your wallet anymore. This is about proving on an ongoing basis that you deserve to keep that card. For decades, the immigration system operated on a relatively simple principle. Once you received your green card, you were expected to follow certain rules, but the government rarely checked whether you were actually complying. You were supposed to file taxes. You were supposed to maintain your primary residence in the United States. You were supposed to report address changes, but unless you applied for citizenship or ran into trouble at the border, nobody was really watching. That era is officially over. The new system creates what officials are calling a permanent resident accountability framework. Think of it as a continuous verification process that ensures every green card holder is meeting their obligations in real time. Instead of waiting until you apply for citizenship to discover problems with your record, immigration authorities now have the ability to identify compliance issues as they happen and take action accordingly. Here's where the contrast becomes stark. Under the old system, a green card holder could technically live outside the United States for extended periods, fail to file taxes for several years, or neglect to update their address, and face no immediate consequences. The problems would only surface years later during a citizenship interview or when returning from international travel. Under the new system, these same behaviors will trigger automatic flags in a centralized database that immigration officers can access instantly. Let me paint a picture of how different things are now. Imagine two green card holders. The first one follows every rule perfectly. She files her taxes on time, maintains her residence, reports every address change, and keeps her information current. Under both the old and new systems, she has nothing to worry about. But now, consider the second green card holder. He travels frequently for business, sometimes spending 4 or 5 months abroad at a time. He's been meaning to update his address after moving last year, but never got around to it. He filed taxes late a couple of times because life got busy. Under the old system, this person might never face consequences for these minor oversights. Under the new system, each of these issues creates a digital paper trail that could be used to question his commitment to permanent residence.
Let's get that off the screen and get back to regular programming. Here we go.
This is not about punishing people who make honest mistakes. The government's stated goal is to ensure that green cards are held by people who genuinely intend to make the United States their permanent home. But the practical effect is that behaviors which used to fly under the radar are now being actively monitored and documented. The most critical component of these changes is a new online registration and verification portal that every green card holder must use. This system will serve as your official record of compliance with permanent resident obligations. When you register, you'll create a profile that includes your current address, employment information, contact details, and other relevant data. But registration is just the beginning. You'll also be required to log in periodically and confirm that your information remains accurate. Think about what this means for your daily life. Every time you move to a new apartment, you'll need to update the system. Every time you change jobs, the system needs to know. If you're planning an extended trip abroad, you should document it in advance. The government is essentially creating a living record of every green card holder's life circumstances, updated continuously and accessible to immigration authorities whenever they need it. Now, let me break down exactly what the registration process involves and what you need to prepare. The registration process requires you to provide several categories of information, and I want to walk you through each one so there are no surprises when you sit down to complete it. First, you'll need your alien registration number, which is the 8 or 9-digit number printed on your green card. This number is your unique identifier in the immigration system, and you cannot proceed without it. If you've misplaced your green card or it was stolen, you need to address that issue immediately because without a valid card and a number, you cannot complete the registration process. Beyond your basic identification, the system requires your complete biographical information, including your full legal name, exactly as it appears on your immigration documents, your date of birth, your country of birth, and your country of citizenship. Any discrepancies between what you enter and what exists in government records will trigger a review, so accuracy is absolutely essential. Take the time to verify that every piece of information matches your official documents before you submit. Your current physical address in the United States is another critical requirement. This might seem straightforward, but it's actually where many people run into problems. The address you provide must be your actual residence, not a PO box and not a friend's address you use for mail. Immigration authorities want to know where you physically live, and providing false information about your residence is considered fraud. If you've been staying with relatives while between apartments or living in temporary housing, you need to sort out your permanent address situation before registering. Employment information represents another major component of the registration. You'll need to provide your employer's name, address, and your job title. If you're self-employed, you'll need to document the nature of your business. If you're unemployed, retired, or a homemaker, the system has categories for those situations as well. The key point is that the government wants to understand how you support yourself financially, because this relates to the public charge considerations that have become increasingly important in immigration evaluations. Here's something many people don't realize. You'll also need to provide information about your dependents, specifically any family members who are also green card holders or United States citizens. This creates a linked record that allows immigration authorities to see family units and understand household compositions. If your spouse or children also hold green cards, their compliance status could potentially affect evaluations of your own case, though the exact mechanisms for this are still being clarified. The system also requires you to upload a recent photograph of yourself. This photo must meet specific technical requirements similar to passport photos. It needs to show your full face clearly, be taken against a plain white or light-colored background, and be no more than 6 months old. Many people underestimate how important this photo requirement is. A rejected photo means your registration cannot be completed, and you'll have to start parts of the process over again. I recommend going to a professional passport photo service rather than trying to take an acceptable photo at home. Now let's talk about what happens after you complete the initial registration, because this is where the ongoing obligations begin. The new system requires annual verification from every green card holder. Once per year, you must log into the portal and confirm that all of your information remains accurate or update any details that have changed. The system will send you email reminders as your verification deadline approaches, but ultimately the responsibility falls on you to meet this requirement. Missing your annual verification has consequences. If you fail to verify your information for 1 year, a flag appears on your record. If you miss 2 consecutive years, your green card status may be classified as potentially abandoned, and you could receive a notice requiring you to appear for an interview to explain your non-compliance. This is where the new system shows its teeth. What used to be a minor oversight is now treated as evidence that you may not be maintaining your permanent residence as required by law. Beyond annual verification, you're also required to report certain life changes within 30 days of when they occur. This is the part that will affect most people's daily lives, so pay close attention. Address changes must be reported within 30 days of moving. This requirement actually existed under previous law, but few people followed it, and enforcement was essentially non-existent. Under the new system, your address in the portal is cross-referenced with other government databases, and discrepancies will be identified automatically. Employment changes also fall under the 30-day reporting requirement. If you change jobs, you need to update the system. If you lose your job and become unemployed, you need to report it. If you switch from full-time to part-time work or start your own business, the system needs to reflect that change. The government's interest here relates to your ability to support yourself without becoming a public charge, which remains a key factor in immigration evaluations. Any criminal arrests or convictions must be reported regardless of how minor they might seem. Even a misdemeanor arrest that gets dismissed needs to be documented. This might feel invasive, but the logic from the government's perspective is straightforward. Criminal history has always been relevant to immigration status, and the new system simply ensures that immigration authorities learn about legal issues in real time rather than discovering them years later during a citizenship interview. Travel outside the United States requires special attention under the new rules. Any trip that will exceed 6 months should be reported in advance through the portal. The system includes a travel notification feature where you can document your departure date, destination, and expected return date. This creates an official record that protects you if questions arise later about the duration of your absence. Green card holders have always faced scrutiny about extended time abroad, but now there's a formal mechanism for demonstrating that your travel was planned and that you intend to return. Marital status changes, including marriage, divorce, or the death of a spouse, must also be reported within 30 days. Your family situation affects multiple aspects of your immigration record, and the government wants current information about your household composition at all times. Let me address the timeline and deadlines, because this is where many people will get caught off guard if they're not paying attention. The new portal system launches within the next 60 days. However, there's a 90-day grace period after launch, during which registration is strongly encouraged but not yet mandatory. Once that grace period ends, registration becomes a legal requirement, and failure to comply triggers the consequences I described earlier. Do the math and you'll realize you have roughly 5 months from today to complete your registration. That might sound like plenty of time, but I'm going to urge you not to wait. Here's why. There are approximately 13 million green card holders in the United States right now. Even if only half of them wait until the final weeks to register, that's over 6 million people trying to access the same system simultaneously. Government websites are notorious for crashing under heavy traffic. The last thing you want is to be frantically trying to register on the final day while the system is down or running so slowly that pages time out before you can submit your information. My strong recommendation is to register within the first 30 days after the system launches. Be among the early users when the system is running smoothly
and take that as a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be early. If you're a green card holder, if you think that's bad, do not overstay your visitor's visa because things are getting more riskier, or whatever visa you're given. If you're given a set amount of time, you don't want to overstay that right now because things are getting real bad here in terms of immigration. The changes are strict. And you got to just get in line here and obey the rules. So here we go. Let's check this out. And this has to do with visas. Here we go. Let's get that running.
If you think a small visa overstay isn't a big deal, this video might completely change how you look at your future in the United States. Because the moment your I-94 expires, an invisible clock starts running. And once that clock hits certain milestones, the consequences can follow you for years or even for life. Many people don't realize this, but overstaying by more than 180 days can trigger a ban from returning to the US. Overstay by a year or more, and you could be locked out of America for at least 10 years. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens when you overstay, why even a short delay can derail your long-term plans, and how to avoid mistakes that can permanently change your immigration options. Under US immigration law, overstaying is not a minor issue. It carries serious legal consequences, clearly defined by Homeland Security, the courts, and the Immigration and Nationality Act, also known as the INA. I'll reference specific laws in key immigration cases, including Matter of Arabali and Matter of Duarte Gonzalez, so you understand not just what the rules are, but how they're actually applied in real life. Everything starts with Form I-94. This document determines how long you're legally allowed to remain in the United States. The day you stay past the date listed on your I-94 without proper authorization, you begin accruing what's called unlawful presence. From that moment on, the clock toward possible re-entry ban starts ticking. Let's look at a simple example. Maria enters the United States on a tourist visa and plans to stay for 6 months. Instead, she stays for 9. The moment she passes the 6-month date on her I-94 without extending her status, she begins accruing unlawful presence. That overstay may not seem dramatic at first, but it can trigger serious consequences once she eventually leaves the country. Unlawful presence is legally defined as remaining in the United States beyond the period of authorization granted by Homeland Security. You'll find this definition in INA Section 212A 9B. There are several ways unlawful presence can begin. One is entering the United States without inspection, meaning from day one, unlawful presence starts counting. Another is overstaying past the expiration date on your I-94. A third is failing to maintain your status when your I-94 is marked DS, or duration of status. For most visa holders, unlawful presence begins the day after the I-94 expires. You can check your I-94 online through CBP's official website. If you were admitted under duration of status, unlawful presence starts the day after you violate that status. For example, if you're on a student visa and you stop attending school, that's a status violation, and the clock starts running. Every single day of unlawful presence can be tracked by Homeland Security. A few extra days may feel insignificant, but those days add up quickly. Once you accrue more than 180 days of unlawful presence and then leave the United States,
guys are so
you automatically
great.
trigger a 3-year bar from re-entry. If you accrue 1 year or more and then leave, you trigger a 10-year bar. These penalties are automatic. You don't receive a warning letter, no one notifies you when the bar is triggered, and the reason for your overstay doesn't matter. What matters is that you were in the United States without lawful status. The 3-year bar is triggered under INA Section 212A9BII. It applies if you accrue more than 180 days but less than 1 year of unlawful presence, leave the United States for any reason, voluntarily or through removal, and then attempt to return within 3 years of that departure. Here's how that looks in real life. John enters the U.S. on a business visa. His I-94 expires, but he stays an extra 210 days before flying home. Even though he leaves on his own, he has now triggered a 3-year bar and cannot return to the United States during that period unless he qualifies for a waiver. And if the 3-year bar sounds harsh, the 10-year bar is even more severe. This penalty falls under INA Section 212A9BI2. It applies when someone accrues 1 year or more of unlawful presence, leaves the United States voluntarily or through deportation, and then tries to return within 10 years of that departure. For example, Lisa overstays her student visa by 13 months. She later leaves the U.S. to attend her green card interview abroad, believing she's doing everything correctly. But because she stayed more than 1 year without lawful status and then departed, she automatically triggers the 10-year bar, even though her intentions were good. If you trigger the 3-year or 10-year bar, you may be eligible for a waiver, but not everyone qualifies. There are 2 main waiver options. Form I-601 is for people who are already outside the United States and have triggered the bar. Form I-601A, known as the provisional waiver, is for people still inside the U.S. who know they'll trigger the bar once they leave for their immigrant visa interview. To qualify for either waiver, you must show extreme hardship to a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse or parent, not a child. The law is very strict about this. Hardship can include serious medical issues, financial losses, emotional or psychological harm, family separation, or harm to children that directly impacts the qualifying spouse or parent. These waivers are discretionary, evidence-heavy, and complex. That's why consulting an experienced immigration attorney before applying is strongly recommended. Now, not everyone accrues unlawful presence. Certain groups are protected under the law, including children under 18, individuals with bona fide asylum applications, VAWA self-petitioners, victims of trafficking, and certain DACA recipients who applied before age 18 and maintained continuous status without gaps. These protections are outlined in INA Section 212A 9B IG and confirmed by USCIS. There's also one penalty that's even more severe than the 3 and 10-year bars, the permanent bar. This falls under INA Section 212A 9C. It applies if someone accrues 1 year or more of unlawful presence after April 1st, 1990. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens include spouses, parents, and unmarried children under 21. For example, Maria overstays her visa by 9 months and later marries a U.S. citizen. She can apply for her green card through adjustment of status without ever leaving the United States, and because she doesn't depart, she avoids all re-entry bars entirely. There's also an important exception under case law involving advance parole. In matter of Arabelli and Yarabelli, decided by the Board of Immigration Appeals in 2012, the court ruled that travel on approved advance parole does not count as a departure for purposes of triggering the 3 and 10-year bars. So if you have a pending green card case and travel with advance parole, you can leave and return without being barred, even if you previously overstayed. For example, Ahmed overstays his student visa, marries a U.S. citizen, obtains advance parole, travels abroad, and returns. Because his travel was authorized, he does not trigger the re-entry bars. Another critical case is Matter of Duarte Gonzalez from 2023. In this decision, the board clarified that the 3 and 10-year bars continue running even if someone re-enters the United States. That means you don't necessarily have to remain abroad to serve the bar, but the bar still applies if you try to adjust status during that period, depending on how you entered. This decision corrected years of confusion and is now reflected in official USCIS guidance, especially for those who initially entered the U.S. with inspection. Here's what you need to remember. Unlawful presence starts the day after your I-94 expires or the day you enter without inspection. Accruing 180 days triggers a 3-year bar if you leave. 1 year triggers a 10-year bar if you leave. Travel with advance parole does not trigger these bars. Waivers exist, but they're not guaranteed. Some individuals are protected from accruing unlawful presence, and in certain cases, bars can run while you're inside the United States. If you think visa overstays are serious, wait until you see what's coming next.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard there, and I must apologize, there was a mix-up in programming. So you may have heard some music that I'm sure I'll probably get flagged for that, but we're going to continue in any case. So I must apologize for that. The screen went blank as well because of the programming issue, and we're going to continue here. So we apologize for that. We continue. And if you think that overstaying your visa is bad, those who overstay their visas and are here in the United States, some of you are getting what we call notices to appear in immigration court. So this is a serious matter that's getting more and more often in the United States. So let's have Attorney McBean explain that for you. Let's go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
In removal proceedings who USCIS is starting to place people in removal proceedings who currently have a case pending with them and no decision has been reached yet. I'm LaToya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York. Here's what's going on. we're starting to get requests from people to help them with their removal case because they have a pending case with USCIS, yet USCIS has issued a notice to appear in immigration court despite the fact that no decision has been reached yet on their pending case, including pending VAWA cases, guys. And these are people who are here in the United States with a work permit. They're authorized to work. They're authorized to stay here for a period of time while the government adjudicates their case, their green card application. The common thread that we're seeing among these individuals is the fact that they had a case that was denied in the past. For many of these individuals, it was a marriage case that was denied in the past. So if you're in a situation like this, immediately lawyer up, reach out to us. We're happy to work with you to see if we could represent you in removal and make an argument about your case. And
that's a serious issue, ladies and gentlemen. It's going on as we speak. So you've got to be aware of what's going on in the space here. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Our last topic in the first segment talks about remigration. This is now a topic for discussion. If you don't know what remigration is, the United States is tabling that. The president is championing that as well. That means they will aid you to leave the United States to a country of your choice. You know what I mean? They will aid you and maybe pay you to do that. So that's a big deal right now. And I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. In our last podcast, I did touch on it. I wanted to give it a couple more minutes, maybe about 5 minutes, with attorney Andrew Branca. He was talking about that in our last podcast, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit more. Here we go.
Wearing a white hat with the single word remigration. Not talking about the worst of the worst, not talking about illegals, remigration. Because the truth is, everybody has to go. Every third world savage in our country has to go home. They are oil and water with first world civilization. They cannot assimilate. They will not assimilate. They are robbing us blind, destroying our culture, degrading us to their own third world level of savagery. Everybody has to go. And this is the kind of messaging I was praying for from Trump. Now, words are words. We have to see action, but this is a pretty powerful word. White Papers, Policy Institute, 1960, 85% of America was white. Today, it's 54%. Why does that matter? Because first world civilization is built and sustained by white people. It doesn't mean you can't have some other ethnics in the mix like raisins in a cake, but the core of the country, of the culture, has to be white people. We're the only ones that have ever had a first world society that can ever sustain ours. And perhaps the biggest advantage we have coming into play right now, our greatest weapon other than Trump himself, and let's face it, Trump is here for another 3 years and then goes on into the sunset. Who knows what'll follow him? But another great weapon we have on our side, increasingly vocal and supportive, is none other than Elon Musk. Elon is reportedly going all in, funding Republicans to help President Trump take back full control in November midterms, because Elon understands what the stakes are. And he's not a natural-born American citizen, but he has a genuine love for America, and he knows that America is the last bastion of civilization. And for his own visions of making mankind multi-planetary.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
Here he is. If you don't know, this is Joe Rogan's place. And he's there with a samurai sword, writing, "I will fight to my last drop of blood to ensure that America remains the land of freedom and opportunity." That was posted yesterday. Today he posted, "America is toast if the radical left wins. They will open the floodgates to illegal immigration and fraud. Won't be America anymore." I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it more during this show. Elon is providing us through his purchase of X and the speech he allows us to have here is providing us with the opportunity, a scant opportunity, to save our civilization. You can't have the fight without having the preparation, and this is the preparation. Our ability to communicate, my ability to say things like this on a massive platform makes all the difference. Having the backing of Elon is absolutely imperative to any chance of us having success. Again, the Overton window, we all know what the Overton window is, right? It's a notional window within which topics of conversation are socially acceptable, but topics outside the window are not socially acceptable. But the key is the Overton window can shift. Topics that were socially unacceptable can become acceptable. And the Overton window right now is not just shifting, it is smashing. You think 4 years ago, you could have talked about white guilt and it would have gotten this post got 16 million views. White guilt has been one of the most of the destructive forces of the 21st century. If Western civilization falls in our lifetime, it will be because we allowed this mind virus to destroy us. This was posted 2 days ago. 16 million views. And if this guy has his account monetized, that was also a nice payday for him. And that's another factor. This all goes much better of those of us fighting even at the modest level, this small town lawyer fights. If we can make revenue doing this, that's amazing. And more people will come into the fight. And you have to keep in mind, the general public doesn't know anything. They're like a blank sheet of paper. All they know is what they're exposed to. And what they're exposed to increasingly is stuff like this. William Wolf talks about white guilt, gets 16 million views in 2 days, and he gets a response from Elon Musk. It ends now. The white guilt ends now. The guy who controls this platform. And by the way, the fact that we can talk this freely on X, in my view, as a content creator, appears to bleed over to other platforms too, including the one you're probably watching this video on right now, which is YouTube. The tree got.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation, now is the time to think carefully and listen to the conversations that are being had at this point in time. This is not the time for shenanigans. This is the time to gather your thoughts, gather your plans, and remember where you are, and remember what you want to do. What are your goals? You have to get your house in order, because as you can see, the borders are closed. They're policing the interior, and they're also talking about remigration. So it's like gentrification. They're cleaning out. They're cleaning house. So if you know what your situation is, and you know what your future will look like, if you're thinking about it, and you know what your limitations are, start preparing if you have not started already. There is a lot more to come. There's 3 years ahead, and we don't know what's going to happen after that. But the way things are looking, you got to begin. You got to put your thinking cap on. All right. So we're going to end this segment. And we want to say welcome to those who are watching from anywhere you are in the world. Welcome to the show. Okay. And also, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell. I want to say a big shout out to all my family. While I was in Jamaica, as you know, I was with the family, with my other half, my little daughter Gia, my granddaughter Shalicia, and my other daughter Shalene. Also, while we were there, my other daughter with a baby in her hand there, that's my other granddaughter, Shauna, and Shantae. Beside her, we have to her left, that's my right, that's my son, George, and that's my daughter's husband to the right. That's Dr. Kim. And to my daughter's left, to my left and my daughter's right, that's Joanne, that's George's mom, and David, and also to the far left of your left, that's their right, that's Elizabeth, my daughter. So they were in Texas together, over a couple of weeks ago, and we say shout out to them, and Daddy loves everybody, all of you, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into part 2, where we're going to be talking about women and women versus men here and the future. While all of the world is getting, they're getting their borders locked up, and systems are coming online, policing of the first world, they're tightening up on finances and all that good stuff. Free money is out the window. Scamming is out the window right now. All of that is to say that you got to get a profession. You got to start a business, get your education up, get your head in gear, because there is a hard time coming. And if you are not qualified for certain jobs that can pay the bills, then you're going to be left behind. And we got to remember that teamwork makes the dream work. So we see a lot of trends going on the internet, around the social media space, in the media, and I'm looking, and I'm talking specifically about women who are downgrading men and thinking that they can go all the way alone. Many of you are not qualified. A lot of women are championing, and we're not talking all women here. We're talking a certain subset, and this is they're trying to offer something that is readily available across the board, across the world, and I'm specifically talking about beauty and sexuality. That's what you're selling. And on the other hand, you're commanding this long list and on top of the list, you're saying any man that, and I'm talking a specific subset of women, that all they're putting forward is their beauty and their body. And they're asking that men that make 6 figures, these are the men they want, but they're not offering a lot. And we gotta ask ourselves, what is your role here in the world as a woman or as a man? What are you here for? So this is becoming a big issue, and I'm going to dive a little bit into it. And we're going to talk more on Thursday Night Live, about this. So let's start with some of the images that have been portrayed online and why women are revealing themselves in such an X-rated way. And I'm going to show a few clips. Here we go. Let's check this out. So if you notice on your screen, there's a music to this that I can't play. But if you notice how revealing this is, and this is typically what you're seeing now on the media, this is how they're selling themselves. And you have to wonder to yourself, say, hey, what is going on here? Why are you using the space for something like this? And why are you downgrading yourself? You get what I'm saying? So that's one of them. And I'm going to show you another one. I'm going to share my screen here. Not only do we have that going on, but in the public domain, everywhere you go, there is a certain subset of women are just exposing themselves in a very X-rated way. And we ask ourselves, what are they actually sharing with the world here? What's the message here? You know, check this out. So everywhere you go, you're seeing this, and you wonder what the message is. What are you offering? You have nothing left to the imagination anymore. And it's becoming an issue. And if you think it's only among adults, you have youngsters are doing the same thing. And what are they doing? They're the spectacle of going online and doing things to show up your sexuality and not giving something more positive to the next generation is causing an issue in society with the youngsters these days. So let's check this out. So this is another one. So let's take the music off. And as you can see, this is a youngster. And as you can see, it's all revealing. So you wonder why men are turning away from women, because women are now showing up their sexuality. And what they're saying is that we don't need men, but if you're coming into our space, then you need to be making, X amount of money to take care of us. But the reciprocation is not there. What are they offering? What are their roles? If you're taking off the table, you don't want to have children, you don't want to be a housewife, you don't want to be submissive, what are you offering? So let's check this out. I brought this up for a reason, and I'm leading into something. So just follow me, like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. Check this video out. This is typically what's going on out there, and I wanted to share that with you. So here we go. Let's check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, so you're not gonna try to get my number, holla at me, nothing?
I thought about it, but I just see my future. You know? Yeah, 3 to 4 kids, divorce, I lose my house, my cars, my money. It's not something I want to get into. So
I'm a sweetheart. I would never do that to you.
Yeah.
You judging me.
I mean,
so let's start that. Let's start that again. Let's start that again because my screen went blank because my internet is moving real slow. As you know, we went through a snowstorm, so you got to see, bear with us. So here we go.
Wait, so you're not gonna try to get my number, holla at me, nothing?
I thought about it, but I just see my future. You know? Yeah, 3 to 4 kids, divorce, I lose my house, my cars, my money. It's not something I want to get into. So
I'm a sweetheart. I would never do that to you.
Yeah.
You judging me.
I mean, yeah. Look what you're wearing.
I mean, it's hot outside. I don't want to be like, what?
I just see a toxic relationship, on and off. I just can't do it. Nah.
All right, you couldn't handle me anyway.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And I wanted to touch on a topic here as we move into our first, out of our first hour. And here we go. Let's check this out, what this lady is saying. And it's typical of what's going on out there in the world. You tell me if you agree or you don't agree. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, and tell me in the comment section, what do you think? And on Thursday Night Live, we're going to have a discussion about this. So listen to what this young lady has to say, and tell me if you agree or you disagree. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start that right now. Here we go.
You act like, oh, because I have my genitalia, since I have this private part, I'm the prize. No, the prize is who's ever in demand, and women are not in demand anymore.
All right, guys, gotta talk about this fascinating story from this content creator. Her name is Brianna. Definitely leave a link in the description. You guys go ahead and support her channel. Yeah, she's going to be cautioning men in 2026 to avoid these modern women, right? It doesn't make sense to be dating out here as a man if you want to protect your peace here. Because these modern women nowadays, yeah, there's something else. She's going to be breaking it down. Not going to be doing too much talking in this video. I'm going to let her cook here. Let's take a look.
I have a very important question that we should all ask ourselves. That question is, why should a man want a woman in 2026? Why should a man that is single, that is already living his life, possibly disrupt his life by taking on a woman? The reason I ask this question is because I think that a lot of us women have a very outdated mindset. Women are not what they used to be. The image of a woman has been tainted by ourselves. We have totally destroyed our image. Anything positive that used to come to mind when you thought of a woman, we have dismantled. And we don't piece together the fact that dismantling our image comes with consequences. So again, I ask you to ask yourself, why should a man want a woman in 2026? We get on the internet and we sit up and we bash men all day long. All day long, all we do is talk crap about what a man isn't doing and what a man is doing that we don't like, how we don't want to live with the man, how men are acting like females, how men aren't doing enough, men aren't giving enough, what they do isn't good enough, how they behave isn't good enough, they don't look good enough, they don't have enough money. We are just going on and on and on, talking crap about men all day long. That's point one. Point two, we have totally taken the mystery away out of being a woman. Back in the day, women didn't discuss certain things. Certain things were kept between the girls. Now we've gotten online acting like the men don't process and see the same internet we do. We traded in a quick buck for our secrecy, for our mystery. You can get online and you can see how women do their hair. You can see how women do their makeup. You can see how women get cheap clothes off of Shein or wherever they get them from. We got our hygiene tips on there. We've got dating tips. We talk about what we do and don't do on the first date. We talk about all these things, just sharing every single thing about ourselves.
Big facts. And I've said this before, where modern women are using TikTok and social media as a digital diary, right? They're literally spilling the beans when it comes to their ideologies and how they really think behind the scenes. And that's why I've even said before, use these videos for research purposes, right? Extract the resource and the information up out of these videos, because they're literally telling on themselves, right? They're literally telling you that they're going to use men for money. They're literally telling you how poorly they view men and how they're going to play these games to get what they want, rinse and repeat.
You can see how women do their makeup. You can see how women get cheap clothes off of Shein or wherever they get them from. We got our hygiene tips on there. We've got dating tips. We talk about what we do and don't do on the first date. We talk about all these things, just sharing every single thing about ourselves. We tell stories about our stupidity and dumb things we do. We talk about how we have no standards, and you may not think that that's what you're talking about. But when you're telling these stories about dumb stuff that you did, or certain stories about situations that you've been in, what you're saying is, I don't have standards. And most women don't have standards anyways, but that's a whole separate video coming very soon. So we get on the internet, we crap on our men, we share all of our secrets about ourselves to where they're no longer secrets anymore. What would make a man want us? Then to top it all of that off, there's all this free corn everywhere. And even if you're a man where you want the real thing, there's women on here sharing basically that they'll do anything.
Congratulations, well
for
done.
some dinner. There's women out here that are sleeping with men for dinner. There's one of us sleeping for men with just the smallest thing. So we're giving out all the tips, all the secrets, telling all the things about ourselves. So there's no secrecy anymore. There's no anything anymore. What is the selling point for us? What do we bring? And you get mad when someone says, what do you bring to the table? Because we're asking men to bring so much. We want men to do it all. We want men to still be the men of yesteryear while us not being the women of
Congratulations,
yesteryear.
well
We don't
done.
want to cook. We don't want to clean. We don't want to provide and cater to a man's needs. We don't want to do anything but receive everything. And we want to talk down to our men. We want to mistreat our men, but it still expect them to be gentlemen and decency. And it's so funny to me how women are always online talking about how men are acting like females. And you're saying it in a derogatory way, which means you are self-admitting that you know that the image of a woman is a negative thing. If you're saying that men are acting like this and it's a bad thing, that means that you're behaving badly and you know it, and you're not calling it out. You're not changing yourself. So again, in these hard economic times, in these hard political times, in these hard, difficult, challenging spiritual times, you think that it's a good idea for a man to take on a woman? These same women who are getting online expressing how ungrateful they are, taking men's children away, putting men on child support, taking half of their stuff when they get divorced, just causing chaos in their life, causing drama. On top of that, you have to compete with this corn. And I don't blame people. I don't blame anyone. You act like, oh, because I have my genitalia, since I have this private part, I'm the prize. No, the prize is who's ever in demand, and women are not in demand anymore.
Yo, she is cooking. These over-sexualized modern women have saturated the market where you can find a 304 like it's nothing. It's raining 304s, right? I mean, that ain't saying anything. And that's why I've said the box, I mean, that's nothing, right? You got 304s giving up the box left, right, and center. The box is easier to get more than ever before, right? I mean, hey, you got a couple dollars in your pocket. Yeah, these chicks will do strange things for a little change.
And that's absolutely true. You know, in today's world, as you can see, I showed you a lot of videos of what's being displayed out there by women, and what they're showing you is that this is available, and this is you got a couple of dollars, come on in. This is what we're giving you, and that's absolutely true. Let's keep on listening.
Or attention. You got some clout, you got a little bit of clout, a little bit of fame, you know, a little bit of money in your pocket. She's gone. So
I'm talking about a certain subset of women. I'm not, this is a disclaimer. This is not about all women, but it's a certain subset of women, and especially those who influence a lot of people, or a lot of women. They're sending out the wrong messages. And you got to understand that it's now becoming a competition as the young lady said, women are not the prize anymore. Men are, those who are in demand. Because if you notice what they're putting out there, they're saying, come to us with what you got in your pocket. And they're competing for those who have it. So let's continue to listen.
She's absolutely right here. She's definitely cooking. What's the selling point? What's the selling point? If a whole bunch of guys or the public can see the goods, right? There's nothing left to the imagination. I just need to scroll on your TikTok or social media, view you half naked. Why would I work 60 plus hours a week, protect and provide, make all the sacrifices when it's just available for everybody, right? There's no selling point, as she mentioned. There's no real incentive. There's nothing that's going to entice me to put myself in a position to possibly get married or to take on the responsibility of a modern woman, right? These modern women, unfortunately, have been coddled to when it comes to society, right? They got the sisterhood and, the delusion of society telling them that they're special and they're a queen and all this other stuff. When in reality, they're just doing what every other woman's doing nowadays in society, right? If a woman really wanted to be special and really wanted to stand out, she would go against the grain when it comes to over-sexualizing herself. She would go against the grain when it comes to having a rotation of men, extracting and extrapolating resources up out of men, right? She would have some sort of respect for herself, self-respect, and basically say, no, I'm not going to go along with the get along. I'm going to respect myself and ultimately, be a woman of virtue, right? This is how a woman would be special in 2026 and beyond. But let's keep going.
I would not advise any man unless you just want that. I'm not surprised if you don't want a woman. Who would? Who would? What women are out here that are worth wanting when there's all these risks? It's all risk and little to no reward. And we get on the internet and we make it, we display it every single day. When you're taking on a woman, all you're doing is taking on challenges. And the main reason to still want a woman, which is to have children, half of y'all have gotten online and made it clear that y'all don't even want to be mothers anymore. Y'all don't want to have children. So what is the point? What is the point? What is the incentive? Why are we acting like we don't understand? Why are we walking around still thinking that we're the prize, thinking that someone should want? We're not giving anything worth wanting. What are you worth that's worth wanting? What about you is worth the risk that you come with? When you're letting all these women online represent womanhood in such a nasty way every single day, and you're in the comments condoning it, instigating it, egging it on, yes girl, yes queen, waving your fingers, praising this behavior, and you're surprised when these men don't want you besides to sleep with you. And the funny thing is, a lot of them don't even care about that anymore. Why? Because it is much more easy and enjoyable to be in your own home, please yourself if that's what you're into, and roll over than have to deal with all of the problems and issues and drama that comes with women in 2026. So please ask yourself this question. Before you go to yourself and have a pity party, I need a man, where's the men? Men aren't the same anymore. Ask yourself, are you the same as a woman? Are you worth it? I strongly doubt it. We as a whole are diminishing our value every single day, and it's over. It's a wrap. There's no undoing it. This is what you all have decided. This is what we have decided as a whole. Live with it, deal with it, and
amazing, incredible,
ultimately
outstanding,
deal with the consequences.
Amazing.
Evolve. You've made it this way, so it's time to evolve. I love y'all. Talk to you soon.
All right, guys, so there you have it. So shout outs to her for keeping it real and standing on business, because she's basically saying, what's the point? right? High value, high productive, high capable man. A man that's protecting his peace, building himself up, trying to be the best version of yourself. For you to only deal with a quarrelsome woman, to deal with a woman that's out here dancing and bopping, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Now, I mentioned yesterday by 2030, 45 to 50% of modern women will be single and childless. I think somebody in the comment section said it's more like 70%. Listen, the way things are going nowadays, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt if that number balloons up to 70%, the way things are happening nowadays. It's just—
And that's absolutely true. If you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, by the 2030s, 2040s, women will be single and childless because they don't want to destroy their figures, and they don't want to destroy their beauty. They want their own time. It's all being selfish, and they want men to finance that. And a lot of women, I'm saying that only a certain subset of women, so don't get me wrong, because a lot of women are saying, oh, I'm independent, I can pay my own way, and I can do everything for myself. 20, you know, a few years down the line, remember, I always say women have an expiry date. Men have an expiry date, but I think men's expiry date is further along than women's. Because when you become 40, then your childbearing years are behind you. Or when your high 30s, 38, 39, then, it becomes difficult, or it's a risk to have children. And men typically date women to have children. You know what I mean? So if you get up in those ages, and then you're trying to look beautiful, you put on the beautiful clothes, you do the makeup, the hair, whatever, and you think you're still on the market and you're competing for certain type of men, you're out of the marketplace. You know what I mean? So the youngsters that are coming up, you're teaching them to be like you. And then what happens to them when they get to your age is the same thing. So the cycle continues, and it's becoming infectious. And what you're going to quickly find out in the next 3 to 5 years is that now you're going to try to undo the damages that has been done over the last 20 years. It's a wrap. So I'm going to touch on another brother here, and this is going to lead us into the closing. So here we go. So let's share that with you so you understand in a more illustrative way of what I'm talking about, where women have planted the seed of destruction, of their own destruction. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check this out and listen.
Well, let's just take it your way. Yes. Attraction. You're supposed to be the attractive one.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, I don't care about your attraction. I don't care about love either. Why do you women think you get it all?
Relationship insight for men. I'm going to be leaving my comment for the end of the video. And if you guys do enjoy, please like and subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Goodness.
Hi, how are you? You been smoking that 420?
As I said, the women have planted the seed of their own destruction, and it's now bearing fruit. So let's listen to this.
No, I haven't.
It's sitting kind of low.
Little. I've been drinking a little.
All right, what you got for me?
So I feel like I'm definitely I'm a high value woman. I'm quality. Went to a great college, great family.
Okay, go ahead.
Money.
I'm listening.
Fun. I can cook. I can kind of do it all.
Right.
And then you say guys want all of these things. I think approach, start dating someone, and I wouldn't say entertainment. I'm an event planner. So I'm the scene. I'm always connecting and meeting new
How old
people.
are you?
Huh?
How old are you? Huh?
29.
29. So what's the issue?
So once we get in a relationship, they truly show their insecurities, and they don't like me being around certain VIP scenes or going to certain events and venues and want to sit me down and, you know.
Let me ask you a quick question. What if you can start and grow your own profitable business by helping other businesses get access to
have me barefoot and pregnant, whatever you want to call it. But that's not my career. It's not what I'm about to do.
Okay, hold on. Let's have a conversation.
Okay.
29. What state are you in?
Texas.
Okay. I hope you're not in Dallas.
I'm in Houston.
Finesse capital of Texas.
Finesse capital of Texas. You are correct.
Yeah, I know. I used to live there. So here's the thing. Do you want to be married?
I do.
Children?
As of recently, I feel like I need children more than want them. That's the thing.
What does that mean?
I didn't always want children, and recently, with my grandmother passing, seeing my aunt and my mom take care of her, I feel like I don't want to die alone.
So, did you go to college in Texas?
No, I went to Howard, HU.
You pledged sorority?
No.
Okay. Children, before you didn't want children, come back to that one, but
it's like, why do men want to, they think you're all fun and cool and, you know, pretty and smart and all this, but then they get insecure and...
let me get to my point.
Okay.
Let me get to my point, because you say men, and I can't let that go. The men you got, that's not all men. All right, so when's your last relationship?
Official long-term, about 2 years ago.
And how long did
men don't approach me, so you should.
How long did that last?
Huh?
How long did the relationship last?
A year.
Okay, so I don't doubt that you can attract men, but it sounds like you either have a hard time. It sounds like you have a hard time attracting men that you value. Put it that way.
Yes, I attract.
All right. But the question is, what do the men you want from a woman? See, when you came on, you came out with the resume on this and that, I'm great, and that's fine. But tell me about what the men that you want from a woman. Run that resume down.
And they want all the qualities that I have. I would.
Well, then you should have no problem.
That's what I'm saying. I should have no problem.
But apparently that's not what they want. And what you are offering is, if what you're offering, you say that's what they want, then you should have no problem. And the thing is, do you make room for the possibility that maybe you present the looks component, but don't present the other part of it?
I have, but I don't think.
Okay, not wanting children. Why didn't you want children?
That's when I was selfish.
Exactly. And I wanted you to say the selfish word, not me. Men don't want selfish women.
Oh, at all.
Exactly.
I've worked on that. I've
exactly
worked on that.
So selfish. So when you said I didn't want children, you notice I keyed on that, because I'm like, well, there's a selfish one.
Yeah.
Because most women don't want children because I don't want to mess up my body. I don't want to, my life, my career, my this, that, whatever. It's all about you. So the kind of men that are intimidated or whatever, that's just whatever you classify. They want something else. They want feminine, beautiful, inspirational, cooperative, submissive women who are trying to get on their page. Do you want to have, so you start with ask the question, after you get married, do you want to have children? And then afterwards, do you want to work? But you just now want children. So what do you want, the power couple thing?
Yeah. I mean, I really, having kids is me being selfish, but also I want to really take care of my husband. Like, I want him to have 100% of me when we're at that point.
Okay, I get it. I get it. But what? Okay, I get it. But that's what you want. What about what he wants? See, okay, let's say this. How much money would you want your husband to really earn annually? To live the life you want, to eat, travel, hair, shopping, caring for family. Come on, give it to me. Don't hide it.
500,000.
All right. And what percentage of men earn that?
Very little.
What percent?
No. I mean, if you're talking all races, I would think.
I just said what percentage of men earn that?
Oh, maybe like what, 7% or something? Not 1%. 1%.
I mean, you're hard. I mean, I'm trying. I hate to break this to you, but
it's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and.
Okay, let's get back to regular programming, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
I don't know why. Living in Texas, you should put it this way: 3% earn around 300,000 or more. 500,000 on the top. 1% of all men. And guess what? Men don't go and do what they have to do to become those kind of men. And what age do you think those men are when they're earning that kind of money?
40s.
Right. And what do men want who have fought in corporate America or fought in the work world for 20 plus years? They want kids and a legacy.
True. But I do want kids now. That was my path.
But that's recent. What you said earlier was what I believe to be the truth. I want to focus on my husband. Great. That will make you a good first wife or starter wife. But typically men want legacy. They want a woman who's going to give them 3 or 4 kids for that $500,000 they're earning, because they got to pass it on somewhere. They don't want to leave it to their dog. So the kind of men you're dating probably are these guys who want a woman to do the power couple thing. Y'all on some 50-50 splitting the bill kind of shit, which is fine.
Oh no.
Okay, so you mean that these guys you're dating expect you not to work after you, if y'all were to get married, they would expect you not to work?
Maybe not expect, but I think they'd be fine with it. First of all, it's another story. I don't really date like that. That's another thing. Like, people aren't approaching me. So maybe that's where your rank can come in, and people are all talking shit in this little comment section.
Why are you worried about the comment section? I'm not, and I'm running the show.
No, I'm saying I would probably want to rank. You be ranking out here. So I don't get approached. I get approached by like 3s who are.
I'm talking about the men you dated. I'm talking about the guys you came in talking about are who?
Those were guys I dated years ago.
Okay, well, these are the guys when you came to the door, you said, here's the issue. The guys I'm dealing with are insecure. They don't want this, they don't want that. And it doesn't surprise me if you're not dating a man who is thinking about family, legacy, and anything else. It makes sense to me.
Where are they at? Where are they?
Well, they're around. They just want women who are not moving like you move.
On the same. There we go.
I mean, you're moving like a modern woman. You give off the energy of, hey, if I were not to have kids, I'd just be cool with it. Let's travel, let's trip, and that's fine. But those men tend to already have children and have likely been married. So you would be the second wife.
So to wait it out. Okay.
Well, because the question I asked you that you have to put thought into is not asking where are the men. The question is, where are the men that you want? What do they want? That's what you ladies never seem to answer. Are you a Christian?
Raised.
Okay.
More spiritual.
Well, the old scripture was, he who findeth the wife findeth the good thing. The presupposition is that you are a wife first, and then you get found. The men you are talking about are looking for wives.
Yeah.
You're not a wife. You're a professional fun girl.
Okay, but what am I supposed to do? Just sit down?
No.
So
somebody like myself, when I joke about it, say my next ex-wife, I've always said, if I were to try to get married again, it is for 1 or 2 reasons. If I married a younger woman, it'll be because I want 2 or 3 kids.
Right.
Or if I didn't decide to go the career path, I probably wouldn't pick a younger woman. I get a woman in their mid-30s, early to mid-30s, and we just go live the quote-unquote power couple thing. But really, you just be living on my program. But I am a very small segment of men.
And that is the meat of the matter, ladies and gentlemen. If as he said it, if you date a younger woman, you're looking for kids, not fun. And as an older man, and even as a younger man with a younger couple, they're still looking for a family to leave their legacy behind. So let's continue to listen.
You want men who are earning a lot of money. And dear heart, those men are going to get what they want. My question is, when's the last time you dated a guy who was
low battery?
An average
Please
earner?
charge.
What?
$50,000.
What's average earner?
$50,000 a year. Actually, 45 is closer to black men. 50 for everybody.
I don't think I'm like in those circles. I don't know. I never, I guess.
So the dilemma you have is, I'm a modern woman wanting more of a, let's just say, for a simple comparison, a Sex and the City kind of lifestyle. Those kind of women.
Yeah.
You don't really want kids.
No, I do want kids.
Do you
want kids? But I feel like once I have kids, I'm letting go of my whole
stuff.
Like,
so you don't want kids. See, that's what I mean. See, a woman who wants kids does not look at them as being a liability. And every time you speak about kids, it's like, then I'm not the hot, sexy, I'm going to be a mom. How many kids do you want?
You're putting words on it. That's not
okay. Well, then explain to me explain to me what you mean. Once I have kids, I'm letting go of my whole self.
I feel like you lose an independence when you have kids. I mean, at least my mom did. I feel like if I can dedicate fully to my children and making sure that they're being taken care of by their mom and not by a nanny and some random people, to where they can be like touched and what, like I want to raise my own kids, and that wouldn't allow me to do the 3 jobs I work now to be out.
Hold on. Listen. The men who earn the kind of money you talk about don't want independent women either.
Right.
So no matter how we get to it, ma'am, children in your mind are a loss of independence.
Yes.
All right.
Which maybe I'm not.
Exactly. Which means that you're in your masculine energy. This is masculine.
Yeah.
So
I mean, ready for kids? Is anyone really ready for kids?
All the time. All the time. So and you can't find the men you're talking about because they're with those women. Because women who are these Sex and the City masculine alpha female energy are fun for hooking up and casual sex. But then they don't stay around. Because the reality listen what I'm about to say. The reality of it is this. Even though now you would accept children, you would not really be a loving mother like somebody who wants children. Your attitude in this call has been, oh, I'll do it, but then I'm giving this up. So listen. So you're even setting your children up for possible resentment. Look at all this extra body weight. I had to give this up to do this and this and that. And ma'am, and it comes back to being selfish.
It does, but I'm probably like now the most selfish person you will ever meet. Like I don't
selfish person.
Know how to have how having a child will be like until you have a child. Everyone who knows me knows that I would be an amazing mother, and really my focus would be on my kids and my husband. That's it. That's what I thought. Like, yeah.
What's your longest relationship again?
Huh?
The longest relationship again was what?
A little over 3 years.
And how long ago was that?
5 years ago.
So you were 22 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I have to ask your exes how they experienced you in a relationship, what would they say? She is blank.
Back then, definitely selfish.
Exactly.
But I haven't had a while.
Well, listen.
Mm-hmm.
That means your relationship muscles, even as poor as they were back then, have gotten worse. They've atrophied.
Best way to unclog your arteries, cut out salt. Nope.
Okay, so let's get back to regular programming. This is absolutely interesting.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen carefully I'm going to touch on another video briefly, and then we're going to discuss that on Thursday because we're going to watch that on Thursday. But let's continue to listen to this one. Here we go.
The professional presenter, I'm pleading my case, but man, it's what I'm telling you is the men that you're talking about want more traditional wives, more traditional women. They don't want modern women. And you're not a traditional woman.
No, I'm not. Like, but there's women who aren't traditional women. Like I said, I went to Howard. All the women there that I'm friends with are not traditional women.
And are they all married?
Most of them.
The high value men?
Mm-hmm.
And when did they get married?
Last 2 years.
Then you found a clutch of unusual women, because I've been Black a long time, and most sisters that present like you are not. That's where the whole dating down, where all the good Black men at. This has been with us since for the last 30 years. And you're saying that everybody that knows me knows I'll be this. All right, let's just say that's true.
Okay.
But then why aren't the men who want that approaching you? Because they do exist.
They do. Are they still playing games? Maybe they're out here just...
No.
They're the ones hoeing it up, because it's not me.
No. See, and this is what I find interesting. You ladies always go to, well, even if they are there, they got to be doing something wrong because it's all right with me. Do you make room for the possibility maybe they're just reading that you're not what you say you are, even though that's what you want them to believe?
I mean, I can't read minds, but maybe.
Well, but the only other way it works in your world is, yeah, they exist, but they're out there playing games. It's always a problem with the men. It's never right here.
Not all of them. I'm just saying the ones that come in contact you that do approach, and I'm hoping that they're intentional with that approach.
Well, the thing is, what I'm saying is the men that approach. I'm not saying that all the men who approach you, I'm not saying you're being approached by the kind of men you want. I'm saying, why aren't you being approached by the men you want?
I am being approached by the men that I want, but I feel like they're out there playing games. But also, we're in a different realm. We're talking like the athletes and the people that I'm on the scene with. So
yeah, I don't concern myself with athletes and entertainers. I know the lifestyle. I concern myself with that.
Right, and that's, I think, usually where I'm in the event.
Well, then you get what you deserve. Then you get what you deserve. That's what you're dealing with. You get what you deserve. You know what comes with their lifestyle. I'm talking about the people who actually have to go make their money, $500,000 a year. Not people who, no disrespect to the athletes and entertainers, but I worry about high value as men who are business class, not athletes and entertainers. Where are those men? Because these men over here, if they had to do transferable skills in corporate America, they couldn't do it.
Right. Okay, then I think I'm just dumb, because I do have those quality guys coming to me too, but then it comes down to attraction, just like you say. Guys like looks first and all these things, and then I'll be like, it's everything I prayed for, and
you're not attracted to them, or they're not attracted. You're not attracted to them.
I'm not attracted to them. So
Black women, I swear to God, you want everything.
You over here just a ranking system. We got our own.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, black men aren't complaining about shit not working. Y'all been complaining for 50 years. We don't complain about it.
I'm not always complaining, but you.
I said Black women. Black men don't complain about being ranked. You guys do. Look, you just said this woman, man. You want a man who's making $500,000 a year, and you're attracted to, and he doesn't want kids.
I do want kids.
Okay, and to be a questionable mother mess. And here's the thing: I asked you the same question. These men exist. Here's the funny thing: you want to know why I know they exist? Because in my Facebook group that's been around for 6 months, 8 Black couples have got together and 3 engagements. One was in Aruba on New Year's Eve, and another sister found her husband, who's an attorney down there in Houston. He's a $10 million attorney. Found him in my group in a week. So I know they exist.
Would you put me in the Facebook group?
Nope. I'm not gonna put you in. You gotta apply just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You gotta apply like everybody else. See, that's another thing. I'm not trying to be funny, but I think, I mean, man, you dealing in athletes and entertainers, that's a different world.
Yeah, that's not all. That's just the world I'm.
So basically, what you said is, I am ready to go. The problem is men, and I'm not gonna argue with you, man. But there's so many women who feel like you. The woman who was on the newscast who did this dating down thing. You guys are almost carbon copies of one another as far as how y'all talk.
I'm 65, and this is my first Tai Chi chair workout. Hope it's worth it. This is me after.
Let's get back to regular programming.
Wait, dating down.
The whole premise I'm doing this show right now. And the point is, man, the point is, what you're basically trying to get, what you're trying to get the audience to accept is these men don't exist. And I've showed over and over for months and months they do exist. They just don't want women like you.
And me.
And that's not an insult.
Or
That's not an
women like me.
No,
Like,
they
why
don't.
can't men
No.
become
See, you keep
cheaper?
see. The thing is, this is what you just said. They're not ready for women like you. There's always a deficit on the men's side. No, they don't want you.
Those men do not want me. But when they
don't.
When they approach,
And here's the
they're
thing.
wanting
Listen.
me and asking me to marry them. And
Listen.
But then when we sit around
Listen.
and bump out and about lunch,
See, she's not now. Your ego's involved. Listen.
no,
You ladies control access to sex. We control access to relationship. So you can say whatever you want. We control access to relationship, and they don't want it with you, and they're going to get it from another woman. And the only way you're going to get it is to understand what they want and give them what they want. Not say they're not ready for you. They ain't hearing that bullshit. They're going on down the street. It's the Doppler effect. They ain't ready for me. They can't handle me. And he going on down the street with his fiance while your ass is just getting older. I mean, I'm trying to keep it light, man, but I get upset when I hear sisters who will sit back and put on their diva boss 10 energy when you look in reality dead in the face at 30 years old.
29.
Straight up in the danger zone.
Okay.
That means you got 5 more years before 6 more years before high risk pregnancy. After this conversation is over, man, go back and listen to it, because I'm trying to tell you that the men exist. I know they exist.
It's true. I believe they exist too.
And they do. Then you gotta ask, what do the men that exist that you want from a woman? That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And are you willing and capable of giving them what they want? Can you make a deal?
Right.
Because they exist.
Men who are like me in socials and out, they're just downplaying their whole personalities to get these like.
You keep coming back. I'm saying,
skill would be me looking in the mirror and being like, okay, Kara.
See, man, your problem's not in the mirror.
No, like that you just said, you need to
Your problem is okay. How tall are you?
5'9".
Dress size?
6'8".
Your problem's not in the mirror.
I meant like internally the mirror.
No, but see, the mirror part is the easy part. It's the other part, the communication, the behavior, the interaction, the part that draws the kind of men that you want to you and repels the fuck boys you're talking about away.
Mm-hmm.
See, the guy that I was talking about, the attorney, he was done with American women. He was done. He was going to move to the Dominican Republic. And I said, come on in my group, man. He resisted. Go to my channel, the video's up. And he said, man, I just decided to join it. And inside of 1 week, got his fiance, just bought a new house. I just saw him. Thank you for the Christmas gift. So you can't tell me they don't exist. I know these men.
I'm not saying that. I just had that in October. But
no, because if you had it in October, you'd be a fiance by now.
So you just make the deal? Attraction's nothing?
Okay, see, again, I'll try one more time and I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
Well, let's just take it your way. Yes. Fuck attraction. You're supposed to be the attractive one.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, I don't care about your attraction. I don't care about love either. Why do you women think you get it all? What makes you so special that you get it all?
Men get it all the time. So yeah.
No, we don't. And we accept what we get.
It's tragic.
No, man, you got a choice. Because here's the thing. Here's the reality. Are you ready? The reality is what you have to negotiate with right now has a time limit on it. It will spoil. It will get old. And what you have today, it won't be worth the same thing 5 years from now. Because it ain't worth the same thing as it was 5 years ago. So after this is over, because it seems like you have maybe some girlfriends around or people around, I'm not saying this to be hurtful, man, but you got to tone this down and really come down. You're going to have to really ask, what do these men want that I want? And then what matters more? Do you need this, that, and attraction and this? And if that's the case, go in your wallet, go pay $60,000 to a matchmaker and do it that way.
That is why pretty isn't everything. If your focus is on a pretty girl, make sure to ask her questions, guys. It is always important to find out the core qualities of a woman versus the surface level. Looks isn't everything, and this is how they oftentimes get men with their attraction. But inside, oftentimes, sadly, they're an empty shell.
And that's a fact. Goodness gracious me. We're going to continue this conversation on Thursday Night Vibes. Let me touch on, just give you a snippet of another video I'm going to share. Then we're going to have the discussion about it on Thursday. So let's dive into that for about a couple of minutes. Then we're going to continue the show. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this going. Here we go.
I honestly just found you.
Relationship insight for men. I'm going to be leaving my comment for the end of the video. And if you guys do enjoy, please.
So listen to this for a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to continue. Here we go.
Single, never married, no children.
All right. So what do we got here?
I honestly just found you like this past week, and I've been listening to a lot of your the conversations that you've been having with women, and I'm just intrigued. So I thought that I would join.
What do you find intriguing?
Huh?
What do you find intriguing?
Just the subjects and the things that you guys talk about, just in regard to women being a certain way, and then they think that they deserve, top earners in the country, and yeah, it's just kind of crazy.
My name is Jay Prang, 55 years old, from Atlanta, Georgia. I think as you get older.
Let's get this off the screen and go back to regular programming.
Okay, you said you're single, no children, never been married.
Correct.
All right. What do you want, or what is it you've ever wanted with a man in your life?
So listen to this carefully. I want you to remember this. I'm going to replay it on Thursday because it is extremely important that you listen to what's coming here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let's get into it.
Gosh. Okay. So to be honest, I've only had like 2 serious relationships.
Okay.
Other than that, I've dated, but it
Go to
just,
college?
I did not.
All right, what do you do for a living?
I work in retail.
Okay. As an associate?
Yeah. Special. I mean, I've been listening to all of these things, and like, according to the ladies that call you and the conversations you have, like, I have nothing. I'm just gonna be honest, but I I have been waiting. I've been a Christian. I became a Christian at 21, and I have been waiting in purity for basically 23 years to find someone.
You've been waiting in what? Purity, you say?
Yes. Yes. I do not have sex. I do not sleep around.
Are you saying you're a virgin?
Born again, if you want to say it that way.
How long has that been?
To my personal convictions, I've only fallen to sexual sin once in 23 years.
How long ago was that?
2016.
Okay, so your personal convictions, because I was a Christian since 5 years old.
Okay.
How do you plan on handling your elder years? 65 to 85. There's the point you won't have a husband, you won't have a family or children.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be too old to really work to make significant income.
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
I honestly don't know. I would like to be married, but I'm just not yet.
When did you become a Christian?
When I was 21.
So I can tell you, man, I'm hearing things that make no sense to me. How can you want to be married and you're a Christian?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the husband? Where's Adam, Eve? Because what I hear, what I hear a lot of times is women using God and Christianity as an excuse for their fear and why they didn't get out here. There's no way you're supposed to be single.
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying I'm not having.
Honestly, I haven't. I know. I haven't really put myself out there. People have found me, honestly.
How have you? Have you had any therapy?
Some I have, yeah.
Because this isn't normal, man. It's simply not normal. This is not even normal human behavior. You can't tell me my first commandment in the Garden of Eden was to be what? Fruitful and multiply.
To be, yeah.
Okay, so now you're 43, so that's pretty much a wrap.
You think so? Well, according to worldly statistics, but I think it's possible to be married and be happy.
Ma'am, I don't care about, and this is why I'm gonna be honest. You're not Sarah. Think you have to go that far. You think it's possible, ma'am? You work in retail. You're not Abraham. This is Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar.
I know that.
Okay, so what if it's possible? Can you afford? Because Wednesday I'm gonna be talking about this IVF stuff. Can you afford $12,000 to $12,000 to $25,000 per IVF treatment?
You didn't ask me if I wanted kids. I really don't desire to have children.
I said being a kids is over at the wrap. You said, well, you think so? So what? You made the statement.
I mean, I'm thinking. I'm just thinking in regard to like even being married.
You don't even want to be. You're not thinking you want to be married?
No, I'm saying like I would like to be married. I don't desire kids.
Why do you want to be married?
My husband used to ejaculate prematurely until this.
So let's get back to regular programming.
I think if I were to find my best friend, someone
that's not what a husband's job is. Christian.
I mean, kind of. My job is for best friend.
Hey, Christian. It's not what a husband's job is.
Okay.
You're not coming.
So we're going to continue this on Thursday. It's very interesting. We're going to elaborate on this, talk about it, because somebody needs to bring women of a certain subset back to reality. And we're going to have that discussion. It's going around on the internet now. If you notice, women and their sexuality and their independence, and they're saying, hey, we want this way of life, but if you want something, you got to give up something. You know, if a glass is full, it can't receive. If it's half full, it's also half empty, but it can receive at that point, right? So there has to be an equilibrium. So we're going to have that discussion on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. We got to say, like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. We're going to continue the conversation because, as I said, we need to bring a certain subset of women back to reality. And we're going to say, in community announcement, Jack Sowers Award, we're arranging with the location for that. So stay tuned for that announcement. We're toying around with the dates, and there could be some date changes. So stay tuned. So also the Alpart, formerly the former hourly workers of Alpart, and their pension problems. I had a discussion with a brother who was formerly of the National Workers Union, who represented them back when they were working. And we had a discussion, and we're moving things forward. I also spoke with Mr. Witter, and things are moving along. Maybe a little bit slow, but it's sure. So we're going to continue that segment, and we're going to continue to all the way. We're not going to stop here. So, ladies and gentlemen, also on the international scene, there's some events that I want to tell you about. Let me share that with you. These events are going to take place. I think there's one in New Jersey, and I wanted to bring that to you. This is the Big Yard Crew, Mama Rose family down in New Jersey. That's East Orange, New Jersey. This is her grandson. This is Wally. His birthday celebration is going to be on February 20th, 2026. And the venue will be announced, as you can see on the poster there. So stay tuned for that. We're going to announce the venue when he drops that information. Also, we want to touch over in Great Britain. Great Britain, there's two events I want to tell you about. There's a big one coming up with Vibes Cartel. It's going to be a big show because you have Shensia, Shaggy, Beanie Man, and a whole set of artists. This is the reggae show. It's called Reggae Lab, and that's going to be in I think Milton Keynes, if I remember right. The writing is small, so you can read it. You know, pause and read it. But there's going to be a whole lot of artists: Shaggy, Shensia, Beanie Man, Morgan Heritage, Taurus Riley, Barrington Levy, Conscience, Mr. Vegas, Supercat, Sanchez, Cranium, Inner Circle, Richie Spice, Ronnie, Ken Booth, Sham, T.O.K., Ding Dong, Albarosi, Charlie Black, Third World, Jesse Royal, Janine, David Rodigan, Stylo G, Samari I, and also Haley Cook, and a lot more people will be there, a lot of artists. It stems over 2 days, September 1st and 2nd of August of 2026. Is going to be a big, big deal, ladies and gentlemen. You got to check that out. If you're in Europe or you're traveling to Europe, then you got to check it out. I'll keep it on the screen a little bit longer so you can get the details. But this is going to be a big, big show. It stems 2 days of shows, and you got some a lot of major headliners here who are going to make waves in Europe come August. And there's another show in August that's going to be a big, big deal. This is going to be, it's a year-to-year, it's an annual event. It happens year to year. It's a big, big deal. and this is Andrew British. His birthday bash. It's called Virgo Bash, and that's going to be on the 29th of August, 2026. It's a bank holiday, and the venue will be announced. So I'll drop the venue. He says the British clique of Kingston 13 Promotions presents Andrew British Big Birthday, and it will be hosted by Princess Britannia. So it's gonna, Rare Nephew is up front, and it's for the girls. This is the T-shirt and netball skirt edition. A shot, everything up there. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal. Big up to Andrew British. That's a big deal. It's going to be a big show as well. Every year it happens, and it's amazing. The turnout for that. So if you're in England, in London, I think it's London. Yeah, he's based in London. Just stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, and you will get more information. So, also, we have places to visit. If you're in South Central Jamaica, always remember to go by the Mystic Inn. The Mystic Inn is in Sear District in Manchester, and you can always have fun there. Everything is provided. Just check it out. It's amazing at the Mystic Inn. If you don't know what it looks like, look at your screen, and that's you'll see the Mystic Inn. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful thing to be at the Mystic Inn. So also, if you're in Prospect District, do remember to check out Top Rock Bar and Grill. Top Rock is a great location also, and you can see the numbers down there. You can call the numbers. It's a beautiful venue. You can check it out. If you're in South Central Jamaica, please do check out Top Rock Bar and Grill. And if you're in Downs District in Manchester, there's a cricket oval and a fish joint called Bowles Fish Stop. You can check him out in Downs District in Manchester. It's just down the street from that's Top Rock. It's on the same stretch. So you can always check him out. If you want to watch a game of cricket, just stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, and we'll keep you informed of when there's a cricket match at the Bowles Oval. But also you can check out Misha's Right Spot in Sear District in Manchester. That's near to the Mystic Inn. You can check her out. As you can look at your screen and you'll see it. Check out Misha's Right Spot any day in Sear District in Manchester. You can Google it. It's also on Google Maps, just like the Mystic Inn and Naramp Yard and Naramp Promotions. You can find it all in Sear. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big deal when you find there. We say always remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. And remember that we're always here for you. You can always donate to the show. So just remember, we are here for you. So it's always a beautiful thing. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember to pray going out, pray coming in, and always remember God is in control. This is Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. We're going to close the show right now. I would say thank you for being here. It's a beautiful thing. It's good to have you. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell. We'll be back here the first night live. And you can call in on Thursday. We're going to have a discussion about women. Women have planted the seeds for their destruction and it's bearing fruit. So we're going to bring them back to reality. So let's have that discussion, ladies and gentlemen, and I've planned the seed tonight to show you where I'm going with it. Thank you for being a part of the show. We say big up to all the Naram family around the world. Colonel Stuka, Smiley, China Borough, Floyd and the Massive over in England. We big up to DJ Latta and also Putty in Sierra District. Big up to him, and also the other crew as well. We're after. I remember that. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I salute you. Thank you for being here. And we say, see you at the next show. God bless you all. And stay safe. Now,